Hello everybody, Jose Rodriguez here. Now, here's the thing. You know how I always say, print that standard image, the evaluation image V002.TIFF Pro Photo RGB. You get that from my jtoolman photo printing techie Facebook group. If you haven't joined, I don't know what you're waiting for. Click on the tab that's on my main page or the link on my video descriptions and join the group. Okay? Go to the files section, download that evaluation image. This is the first thing you print after you have installed your printhead on your Canon printers or installed your Epson photo printer and it's ready to be used. You've done the nozzle check to make sure all nozzles are firing. You've done the head alignment to make sure that the head is aligned properly. Now what do? Well, you have to determine whether the printer by itself can produce a perfect image of what is basically a perfect image. Then you're going to establish that by viewing it and making sure that it looks correct to you. You'd be surprised how good your brain is in analyzing an image. You look at it. Is it too light? Is it too dark? Can you see black to white completely? Does it change hue or not? Hopefully not. Is it neutral? The central picture, is it neutral? There's 4 kids' faces. Do they look like you want to kiss them? Strawberries, you want to eat them, all of that stuff. You look at it, you're going to determine, okay, this looks pretty nice. Then you go to your monitor and you put it next to it. You light this individually so that it does not spill into your monitor. And you determine whether your monitor matches this output. If it matches, you're all set. Nothing else needs to be done. More than likely it will not. You will require to calibrate that monitor. It might be too bluish, so you're going to have to warm up the white balance by lowering the D value. Right now, the default would be D65. This is assuming, of course, you have a spectrophotometer like an X-Ray Color Monkey or higher. So after you have done that to match the monitor to your output, which is perfect, now your monitor is displaying that image perfectly. Now you can go ahead and edit your images. But let me tell you where you will make the biggest mistake, okay? Let me tell you. You open it up in something like Photoshop. Now, Photoshop asks you to create a working color space. Remember the last description on that name, that long name I gave you? Pro Photo RGB, okay? Most people will be working in an sRGB color space. They really shouldn't be. The minimum you should be working at is Adobe RGB 1998. So Pro Photo RGB is even higher. So you need to set your Photoshop color preferences to give you a warning that when it sees an image of some other color space that Photoshop is not currently working under, what it will do if you do not set a tick mark on that box that says warn me before you convert my image, it will convert your image. And you do not want to do that. You want to set it so that it warns you. And when it's warning you that it's going to, hey, you got a Pro Photo RGB image and you're working on Adobe RGB 1998 color space. Would you like me to convert it? You say no. Open it as is. And then you can go ahead and print that image. If you're working in Lightroom or QImage, no need to do that. Only Photoshop and Photoshop Elements does that. Okay, so be aware of that. You're going to set your working space inside Photoshop, color preferences. I believe it's tools or something like that, color preferences. I'll have to go look. I will do a video or I will do a demonstration during my live stream tomorrow evening. And so you will be able to see exactly how to do that. Right now, I just don't have any time to go over there and show you. But just warning you, by word of mouth, that you don't want Photoshop to convert that Pro Photo RGB image into whatever color space you have it set for. Okay? Hello, everybody. I just thought I would not make you wait until Sunday night's live stream. After all, not everyone joins us. So here's what we have to do. We're inside Photoshop. This is the latest version, 2020. And I have here my standard image. I'm going to go ahead and double click. and I get a warning. And this warning basically says, the document original printer blah 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 TIFF has an embedded color profile that does not match the current RGB working space. And the embedded profile is Pro Photo RGB. The working profile inside Photoshop right now is Adobe RGB 1998. So it's going to ask me, what would you like to do? Well, I don't want to convert that color space. It should remain Pro Photo RGB. So use the embedded profile instead of the working space. Okay, that's what we want to do. We never want to change that embedded Pro Photo RGB working space. Again, like I said earlier, you don't have to do this if you work in Lightroom or QImage. Now, let's go ahead and show you what you need to do to establish that type of condition so that you get a warning. This will happen with any image that you load. If the working color space does not match the color space of that image, it's going to ask you here and there whether you would like me to change it, me being the application. Edit, and then roll down to color settings, or Shift Control K if you're on a Windows machine, and it will open this window here. Here's where you choose your working space. So these are your working spaces for Adobe. We're going to choose Adobe RGB 1998. This is my common working space. Sure, I could use Pro Photo RGB, but most of my files will not be under that color space. It will be under Adobe RGB. Only this one special image that we use for basically verifying the ability of our printer to produce a perfect rendition of this particular image. All right, so here's what we need to do. We're going to tell it to use black point compensation, of course. Now, some people like to desaturate the image by 20%. That will probably give you a more accurate result of what it will look like on paper. Okay? Now, again, ask when opening. Ask when opening. There's two categories here. If it's missing a profile or a color space, ask when opening. Profile mismatches, ask when opening. It's just that we are going to always deny the conversion of this particular image. So all of this only applies to this so-called evaluation image, okay? That's what it applies to. So let's go ahead and open it again. It's going to ask me, convert document colors to the working space? No, use the embedded profile instead of the working space, because we want to keep that image as a Pro Photo RGB file. All right, that is all you have to do. You can go ahead and print this image now and be satisfied that it will be printed with the complete gamut that this Pro Photo RGB has. Again, your printer may not be able to reproduce every bit of that gamut, but you want that image to be at the maximum gamut before you send it to the printer. If you were to convert it to sRGB, it would be crippled, okay? Keep that in mind. All right, thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and like. And as always, happy printing, everybody. Bye-bye.